mostly in high school, and in those courses we've learned about diabetes, skin cancers, and heart disease, which makes sense. And we have rarely touched upon mental illnesses in those courses, and if so, you have learned about it. It was probably in something like soft sciences, like psychology. And I believe for a strong reason that, it's for a reason. And what if I say that I believe mental illness is a choice? So now I want you to imagine you are a sophomore college student and you've just finished taking that physics exam and you're ready to go back home. You're ready to go back home to celebrate your brother's 10th birthday, and what better way to do this than over a meal? Everybody's talking, having a good time, your brother's enjoying his day, and then followed by that you go to the movies. Now, this is a movie you've been waiting for quite some time, so you're excited. You're seated next to your mom, your dad's on the other side, your brother's just across, having a good time, and you're immersed in this movie because it's such a good movie. And then, halfway through the movie, for some reason, you notice your heart starts pounding really quickly. And it's really loud to the point that you can hear it to your ears. Now, you brush it off because, it's just a movie, perhaps. I'm just really into the movie, The movie's so good, this is what it caused. But then, you realize that your breathing becomes constricted. And it's hard to breathe. And each time you try, it just gets harder. So you feel really fearful. So you grip your mother's hand or your loved one's hand, yet to no success because you feel no sense of safe security. So you remove yourself from the situation, you go outside, but same thing, to no success. So what was meant to be a day to celebrate a loved one's 10th birthday ended up being a day where you had to spend it at the hospital with these bright white lights shining on your face and doctors all over you, poking you here and there, trying to figure out what was going on. And what happens is that you had a panic attack, you had anxiety. This is what happened to you that night. And the worst thing is, after taking Xanax, after taking all those meds, next morning, that feeling of uneasiness and irrational fear is still there. This is my story. And this is what happened to me not too long ago. So, mental illness is a choice. Mental illness is identified by continuous, constant, overwhelming feeling of hopelessness to the point that you're unable to function. Anxiety, which always or usually comes with panic attacks, is what I've illustrated previously. Depression is, we can say, the blue moons. Like, who hasn't feel depressed? In the English language, when we've had a bad day, it's raining, we're soaked, somebody tells us we're not beautiful enough, and we feel depressed, right? It's a normal emotion, a normal reaction to daily stresses. So mental illness doesn't exist. Mental illness was actually made up by people who want attention, who have had, stresses in their life and don't know how to deal with it, who are lazy, who just aren't happy. Yes, those are the people who came up with. Is it also people who served in the military, who have served for our country, who have PTSD? And 16-year-old Cameron Lee, a popular straight-A student who jumped in front of a moving train, well, we can say it was their choice. And maybe we should thank those, and myself included, we should thank those who go out of their way to critique us in a negative way. Wait, no. Yes, so mental illness is a choice. Do we still agree with that? And so was a choice of people who serve in the military, people who serve for our country, who have PTSD, and 60-year-old Cameron Lee, a popular straight-A student who jumped in front of a moving train. It was her choice. It was their choice. Do we agree? And maybe we should thank those, myself included, those who go out of their way to critique us negatively, saying things in the worst possible way, by assuming who and how we are as a human being to affect us in the best way possible? What? And because people like me and 800,000 people who die each year because of depression, according to World Human Organization. Oh, damn it. It's World Health. Because people like me and 800,000 people who die each year due to depression, according to the World Health Organization, have never tried to seek help. We have never tried therapy. We have never tried medications. And we have never told someone, or if not tell somebody, but have never disliked being in such a debilitating state to the point that we can't function, to the point that being ourselves is dreadful. It's a burden. So next time you see one of the 46% homeless people who suffer from severe mental illnesses, you should give them a nudge, a sandwich, and tell them just be happy, because they're wrong for having mental illnesses. They're wrong for choosing to be mentally ill. Because we all desire to have traumas in our life, to be pushed to the limit or to the edge by stress, to be affected by congenital factors. No. I say mental illness isn't a choice.